So welcome back to part 2 of the creativity series and to day 3. Now, with day 3, we're going to take this visualization a little bit further and bring in an additional aspect, which is, as I say, likely to bring about a greater feeling of energy, vitality, creativity in both the body and in the mind. Now, as I said in part 1, you can expect to see this, manifesting, if you like, not only during the meditation itself, but more importantly, and more likely actually, during everyday life. So don't be surprised if you experience a greater flow of creative thought, if you experience more spontaneous thoughts, ideas, solutions to problems arising in the mind. That's perfectly normal when you're practicing this type of exercise. I'll speak to you a little bit more about the integration of this exercise after today's technique. But for now, all you need to do is to get yourself comfortable in the chair and just take a few moments to settle the body, the mind, as we just check in with the body and set up the right kind of attitude for the exercise. So sitting comfortably, just beginning with a few nice big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyes and just taking a minute or so just to check in with those physical senses. And as you become more aware of those physical senses, just starting to notice the sensations in the body, how the body's actually feeling right now. And just to get a clearer picture, starting at the top of the head, just gently scanning down all the way down towards the toes. So at the same time, just starting to notice the emotional tone or quality of mind. And as with yesterday, remember, you'll often get a sense of what this is by noticing how you're observing, how you're actually looking at the mind. If there's a sense of worry or anxiety about not being sure how you feel, then there's probably an emotional quality of anxiety in the mind. Remember always doing this without judgment, without analysis, just knowing how you feel. And then just making sure the right attitude is in place for the exercise. Just asking yourself why you're actually doing this exercise today, and reminding yourself of how it can benefit both you and those around you in the process. And although this visualization requires you to shift the attention from one place to the next, really all that's taking place is a greater level of noticing, of noting. So really not much effort required. With that in mind, just shifting the attention now to the breath and just taking a couple of minutes to become more familiar with the rhythm of the breath in this moment. So still with an awareness of that breath. Now just shifting the attention to that starting place down near the ankles, the feet. It's always that same sort of size area, same qualities of warmth, of brightness, of light. What this does is to allow the mind to rest there comfortably as it's curious and interested about that space, working through those same questions we've done the last few days: heaviness, lightness, restlessness, stillness, spaciousness, restriction. And then just shifting the attention up to the area of the navel, just below the belly button, taking in that hip and pelvic area. Heaviness or lightness. Restlessness or stillness. Spaciousness or restriction. Again up to the next area, the area of the diaphragm, solar plexus. The mind focusing on the middle of the body, just imagining that space. Again, heaviness or lightness. Stillness or restlessness. Spaciousness or restriction. And up again this time to the level of the chest, the upper back. Heaviness or lightness. Stillness or restlessness. Spaciousness or restriction. And again up to the area of the throat and the neck, working through those same questions, just bringing an element of curiosity, of interest about how it feels in that area, not assuming it's the same as yesterday or the day before, but really looking at it afresh each time. Up to the area of the brow, the forehead, the middle of the head. Heaviness, lightness, stillness, restlessness, spaciousness, restriction. And finally, that area above the head now, in just the same way. It's as though you're able to focus your attention just above the head and get a sense of whether there's a feeling of restlessness or lightness there. Of stillness, of restlessness. And of spaciousness or restriction. Then move back down through those points to the brow, to the throat, to the chest, solar plexus, navel, ankles, the navel, solar plexus, chest, throat, brow, above the head, to the brow, to the throat, to the chest, solar plexus, navel, and ankles. And what I'd like you to do now is just to continue scanning up and down through those points. You don't have to name them each time, just consciously aware of passing through each of those points as you gently scan up the body, taking just a second or so to scan up through those points and then back down through those points. Just continuing in that way, just for another 20 seconds or so, just gently scanning up through each of those points and then down through each of those points. And as you scan up towards the top of the body, as you get to that point above the head, the next time, just gently letting go of any focus, of any images, letting go of any focus on the breath. Instead, just allowing the mind to do whatever it wants to do. And then just gently bringing the attention back to the body, back to the weight of the body, physical sensations of the body. As you start to notice the other physical senses, the sounds, any smells, any tastes, just reawakening, re-engaging those physical senses. And in your own time, just gently opening the eyes, just blinking a few times to refocus. As you just maintain that posture, aware of how you're feeling without judging it in any way. So maintaining that non-judgmental quality of awareness. Interested in how you can maintain that throughout the day. And when you're ready, just gently sitting back in the chair. So today, obviously expanding that visualization a little bit more, and we're almost there in terms of the exercise as a whole. I think the important thing with this exercise is that you bring a genuine sense of curiosity and interest to each of those areas each day, and that you bring a fresh sense of curiosity. It's really easy to do this kind of exercise in a very sort of routine and habitual way, and it's as if you're just going through it kind of by rote. Instead, though, if you can bring a genuine sense of interest, actually taking the time, just a few seconds in each place, to notice the quality of feeling, what you'll find, what you'll discover, is that the mind begins to open. It begins to feel more spacious, and you therefore experience a much greater flow of creativity and a much greater sense of ease in the mind. As you go through your day today, don't forget to look for those moments, those opportunities, to just pause, to check in with yourself, how you're feeling in the body, in the mind, and to just remind yourself of that quality at the very end of the meditation where you just allow the mind to be free and noticing what happens when you do that.